How do artists create a sense of space? I'm not talking about outer space, but I'm talking about open space. How does this look real? How do you get the feeling that you could walk into a picture like this? What does the artist do to make that happen? Let's take a minute to look at this picture and see what we notice about it. Let's work on a project together. We're going to see how far we can get to this stage today. The supplies you will have today are a background paper, 3 pieces of paper that are representing snow, you can see how they can be layered. You'll get 3 pieces of paper to make trees out of, and you can see I have 3 different values. If I overlap them and make the biggest one in front of the other 2, that might create some space. Before I glue down my 3 pieces of paper, I want to make the tops look kind of natural. I could take a tiny little bit off of the edge and make it a little bumpy, like it was real land. So I might pick up each paper, and do you see how with my scissors I'm only taking off a little sliver just to make it look more realistic. Here's my 3rd and final one. And I'm just taking off a little sliver at the top. I really don't want to take off very much at all. When I go to glue these, there's an important trick. I want to get everything glued, but I don't need to glue the whole back. Just the edges are good. I'll count to 10 just like we used to do. Then I'll pick up my next piece. I'll do the same thing. I'm going to put glue on the bottom edge, up to close to the top, and because my other piece is still a little bit wet, I can sneak it underneath that piece. See how I just stuck it right down in there? And I'm going to count to 10 again. And my final one, same thing. I'm going to put glue along the bottom edge and the sides, and I'll just tuck it into the top, just like that, and I'll hold it and I'll count to 10. Here's how to cut some simple trees. Take your paper and fold it in half the long way, and draw a pencil line from the folded corner to the corner that doesn't have a fold. Make sure the fold is in the middle, and then just cut along like that. If you mess up, you could use the 2 pieces I just pushed away to make a tree. I'll show you again. I'll fold it in half the long way. I'll draw a line from one corner that's got a fold to the other. I'll cut along that line, and when I open it up, I have another tree. Your 3rd piece of paper is the darkest piece of paper, and it's kind of the biggest. So we'll fold it like we have before. We'll draw a line from one corner to the other. We'll cut along that line, leaving the fold away from the scissors. And when I open it up, I have a very tall tree. There's my medium tree. There's my small tree. Darkest one in front, then medium, then light. If they're all at the bottom of the paper, they'll look like they're next to each other. But if you raise them up and go a little bit higher with each tree, They look like they're getting further away. If you'd like to cut the edges of your trees to look fancy like the one in my sample, now's a good time to do it. Once I have my trees arranged, I would like to make some trunks. And I'll give you 3 pieces of paper, a dark, ooh, we got to get them in the right order. No, that's not right. Okay, the darkest one has to go with the darkest tree. The medium one has to go with the medium value tree. Should I make my trunk smaller as I go along? Because the trees are further away from me. And my smallest tree needs to have the smallest trunk in the lightest value. Oh, something's still not right. I want to make sure that I overlap, because if I don't stick one tree a little bit behind the other, I'm going to ruin my special effect. Glue those trees and trunks down. Here's how you might cut a simple tree. Fold it in half. Make a little half of a tree sketch. Get your scissors and be as random as you want as you cut along those lines. And when you open it up, you've got a beautiful tree.